Got my number figured out. A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in. Don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free. I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen. I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be a poser in a magazine. I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in. Don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free. I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen. I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be a poser in a magazine. I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free. I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen. I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be a poser in a magazine. I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Simple, dear, I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn, your pawn, your pawn. My love was in ever again. I lay
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Thursday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Thursday. It is Friday Junior, folks. It's practically the weekend. $4:20 on the dot. Moanep, welcome. Miss Kasanya, welcome. Heat, how's it going? I'm hanging in there. Hey. There we are. Yeah, anytime it's fun to break the signal. Yeah, there it goes again. All right. Folks, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah, the third time's a charm. I hope so. I hope so. Folks, if you missed it yesterday, I was on Left Past 10. Pretty cool episode. Next week, it's possible that I also may be there again. Also, if you caught the last little Easter egg at the end of that episode, there's some cool stuff brewing. There's some cool stuff brewing, folks. Those eldritch horrors in your neighborhood could really be kind enough to not interrupt at least for one day. That's true. I gave up on trying to figure out what is going on here. I'm convinced that like there's some kind of disconnect between OBS and whatever's managing the software for the camera. I don't know. I didn't see the end. I will put that last screenshot up. Let's see if I can find it. Wow, we're at 359 subscribers. Nice. Let's see if it Okay, there we are. Get a new GPU. I don't know if that's actually the issue. It could be. Unfortunately, this is like a laptop. So what I could do is get an external GPU and put whatever card I want. But that incidentally also costs a boatload of money. So, and it's funny because it happens with any type of video. It doesn't matter if it's this fancy camera or if it's just a regular webcam. I don't know why. I think it's OBS messing with some stuff, or maybe just the motherboard or the ports are messed up. I don't know. Trump wants to become the Pope and threaten Russia with 500% tariffs. Phenomenal. Mouse gave me his old computer, which is much better than mine. Current computer, I'm really excited about that. Nice. I've had this one for quite a minute. Who knows? Maybe it's time. But I mean, I can't beat that. I've had this computer for like 5 years now. No. Well, yeah, just about 5 years. It can't only last 5 years. He'd never do that to Daddy Putin. Welcome, Bipedal. It's hard to get used to hardware though. You know? Yeah. Make it 5,000 Russia and America trade. Fuck all. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. Right. That's almost true. Like, basically, like, our trade is not that much. It's true. Okay, I found it. I got it. All right, folks, let's get started so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So a couple of things. Next week, it is more than likely that I will be on Left Past 10. I don't see why not unless something changes. So I may be doing another appearance there. So go check out the Letter Hack. He did some excellent interview today or this morning, I want to say. Or was it last night? I can't remember. Everything is so fuzzy. Last night, I think, or this morning. It was this morning about the organization that is happening in South Carolina with Indivisible. That was a pretty good interview. What day? Wednesday, the 7th. Wednesday the 7th. So that day there will be no normal stream. It will just be Left Past 10. And another announcement, which will be in a second because it kind of ties into the Easter egg. But yeah, the usual announcements before we get to it. Thank you all for being here. If you want to support the channel, do all the things. Make sure you keep liking the stream. Subscribe. We're almost at 360 subscribers. If you're on Twitch, keep liking the stream. We're almost at 2,600 followers on Twitch. If you want to support the channel directly, some other ways of doing it is checking out the merch store, hitting !tip, !sub Substack. Join the Discord, folks, if you want to keep up with the channel. We do movie events. It's a cool place to be. I think I got everything. This is the last screenshot right here of the stream. This space What is this space? Well, this space is a project that is happening or that is in the works, and getting a sort of a network to have rotating content creators It's happening, folks. More information on that later as things progress. I'm sure Matt is going to do more announcements as it gets closer. And as I get announcements, you guys get announcements. So stay tuned. We should put 500% tariffs on podcast equipment. Just let me get a couple things and then you can do the tariffs. Is that a deal? To be honest, if you need a new computer, better buy it before the tariffs hit the fan. USGP is shrinking by 0.3%. Yeah, I mean, I know. But also, like, computers cost a lot of money. So, it's just gonna have to be, this is just gonna have to work. Until it doesn't, right? Until we weather the storm, okay? I will stream off my damn phone if I have to. I've done it before. I need so many things, just gotta make do, but thrifting is gonna get hot. Oh yeah, like especially, yeah, like looking on the secondary markets. Oh yeah, to avoid tariffs. Yep. Absolutely. Everything sucks. Yep. Well, we got some unfortunate news. We got some unfortunate news. Let's see what exactly the details are on this. Because
Yeah.
Becky from the Beckosphere is I consider a friend of the channel and someone who has been on the channel a couple times. And you know what? Seeing this kind of sucks, man. Seeing this kind of sucks.
Yes, you read the headline right. Elon Musk's Doge directly destroyed my job. I was an AmeriCorps fellow. Hey y'all, it's Becky here from the Beckosphere, where we talk about the climate crisis and clean energy transition. If those sound like interesting and important topics to you, hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell so you don't miss every time I post. Welcome to all the new subscribers from Climate Adam's channel. I'm so happy to have you here in the Beckosphere. Collaborating with Adam was just so much fun. They're just such a chill and knowledgeable person. But yes, let me talk about Doge's latest effort to dismantle social safety nets in the name of eliminating bureaucratic waste through the eyes of someone who has been directly affected. For the past 7 months, I was an AmeriCorps fellow. For those of you who are unfamiliar, AmeriCorps is an independent federal agency that facilitates people entering volunteer and fellowship opportunities that serve their communities and tackle pressing issues. It was formed in 1993 by President.
I'm interested in transition, but not about clean energy. Understood. This is a big reason why if you have a semi-decent job, you should hold on to it right now. Yeah, like right now, it's like it's like hunker down type deal. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's like pretend like the apocalypse is happening, Okay? Pretend that there's going to be like a nonstop wave of hurricanes coming. So you need to like be prepared. Like as if that's the case. Cuz like right now the situation sucks, man. Like it just sucks, okay? And anyone at any point, like you're the rug can just be pulled from under you. You know what I mean? Honestly, just build more nuclear power plants. I wish, honestly, that would be better than fossil fuels. But like, how long is that gonna take? Is there who's gonna manage that? Is it gonna be private companies? Because
H.W. Bush, and
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. Just to be clear, like I'm not exactly against nuclear power. But yeah, the military. I mean, yeah, I would be for it if the government is handling it. You kind of don't want it in private hands. Private, because Texas business is really booming.
Has a yearly budget of about $1 billion, which is a small drop in the federal bucket. And according to AmeriCorps' website, each dollar invested in the agency produces around $3 to $34 in return in investment. And that's because the tens of thousands of AmeriCorps workers teach kids, run school gardens, conduct disaster relief, and
I mean, like, it doesn't matter though, right? Like the logic and the rationality has left the chat. Okay? Like rationality and logic, like, yeah, so what if this program produces like 34 something dollars with return on investment, right? Like it sounds woke, get rid of it. Sorry, cause equals companies. I mean, it kind of worked out, right? It kind of worked out. Think of all the dirty bombs you could build with all that radioactive waste. No one would dare to mess around. I don't think it works that way. Rice, welcome.
improve transportation safety, work with veterans, and further cities' climate mitigation and resiliency efforts. All for the living stipend low enough that we still qualify for food stamps. But it's because we are people who genuinely love this kind of work and we want to take care of our communities.
Imagine that's the program that you want to like directly axe. Right? Like you are paying these people subpar like minimum wage to the point where they qualify for food stamps. And you're like, yep, those are the people that we need to get rid of. Those are the people that are, part of the whole waste, fraud, and abuse.
Most programs provide around 1,700 service hours to the community, but some can provide more or less. My program was 1,700 hours, which meant I committed to working 8 hours a week, Monday through Friday, for about 11 months. My program was called the Sustainability Service Corps. SSC was actually the original Climate Corps, which started in California in 2010. About 7 years ago, the Climate Corps wanted to branch out of California to become a national service, so SSC branched off to stay just in California. My cohort of about, I think like 150, mostly young folks, have now all lost our jobs. But we worked in Southern California, Santa Cruz, and the San Francisco Bay Area. Some of us worked at local schools, transportation nonprofits, and for counties or cities. I worked for a city in the Bay Area to help further their climate action goals.
Yep, which she's talked about in the past. We're in for a pickle. We're in a pickle for the next few years. Yep. Yeah, that's a little too close to the sun there, Icarus.
I started and ran the city's bilingual sustainability newsletter where I would advertise city and local nonprofit events and opportunities. I helped apply for grants to increase EV charging infrastructure. We did successfully get 2 grants already. I helped improve the city's standing with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, to get better discounts for residents on flood insurance. Like a third of our city is in the FEMA flood zone, so this is very important. I helped plan and execute environmental events with local cities and nonprofits, and I was just starting the process to work with food businesses to phase out plastic and industrially compostable plastics that don't actually break down. I loved the work I was doing. Most AmeriCorps jobs are truly on-the-ground, immediate impact kind of jobs. I learned through this job that I want to work in city sustainability and help be an ally in the city for environmental justice nonprofits in the area. It was actually the night before the Earth Day Festival I have been helping plan for months that I received an email from my fellowships program director that DOGE had entered the AmeriCorps' federal offices and terminated $400 million in grants, which represented about 41% of the agency's budget. We knew they might come for AmeriCorps at some point, but because of how small the agency was, we assumed that it wouldn't be quite so quick. So how soon it ended up being was shocking. I was worried for the next year SSC cohort, like whether or not it would even exist, but I kind of assumed that my fellowship would be safe. I still kind of thought that even after that email, because surely the money for my fellowship.
Yeah, no. Nope. Based on the stuff that's been told to me about what's happening with these offices and programs and grants with regards to like anything environmental, it's not great. It's not great. It's not looking good.
Fellowship had already been allocated, right? The next morning, I woke up early to head to the Earth Day Festival site. It was an amazing event, by the way, a beautiful collaborative effort between 2 Bay Area cities and several environmental nonprofits. We filled the whole community campus cafeteria, senior lounge, and front patio with tabling, local environmental and clean energy groups. We joked that if people didn't show up, that it would just turn into a local environmental summit, because us environmental folks love talking to each other. But it was busy the whole time. The back patio was filled with games and crafts. Food stands took over the side patio. The mayor of one of the cities hosted a tree planting session. The library led children's reading sessions, and we even had a juggler. So this was overall a wonderful day. This was just last Saturday. But the news that we had heard the night before still hung heavy in the air. There were about 3 other fellows tabling for local organizations there, and the SSC program director came to visit the event, so we all huddled at one point to talk about the likelihood of being shut down. Our program director told
That sucks, man. Lapis, welcome.
us that other fellowships in other states had already closed their doors, though some had insisted on staying open and had already filed lawsuits. No one in California had heard yet who was going to be shut down, but we were a likely target. I mean, sustainability, climate. We'd probably learn more the next week. The director knew as much as we did. I went into the office on Monday like normal, but at 4:40 p.m. I received the dreaded email, AmeriCorps update, service paused. California AmeriCorps program directors had received an email Sunday night that all programs in California were getting shut down starting Tuesday, April 29th. We now know that more than 32,000
Has America done something? About what?
AmeriCorps workers around the country have lost their jobs, meaning disaster recovery in places grounded to a halt, kids lost their mentors, veterans lost support, and projects meant to improve communities just slow down. I did not take this news well, which means that I can't imagine how other fellows were feeling, because to be clear, I'm in a better spot than most. I live with my grandparents, so I'm not having to worry about rent. And my city supervisor at the site city I work for is working right now on seeing if she can give me a part-time job with the city until at least the end of the fiscal year. If that happens, then this DOGE action will only cut my time with the city by about a month. Us fellows learned on a long Zoom call yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, anything like that is like super on thin ice, you know? And it's really freaking sad, man. It's sad that people have to, like, go through this stuff. I can't believe Doge is a real thing. Me neither, but here we are.
Yesterday that the SSC has chosen to freeze our fellowship, which means that if the Trump administration does undo this action, then we can start back up right where we left off rather than having to rehire everyone. I think my fellowship can stay frozen like that for maybe like 30 days. I'm not totally holding my breath, but if I just have like a part-time job, then I can at least stay in the fellowship to try to wait it out. Because sometimes idiotic moves do switch course, especially if there's been a lot of outrage. In my opinion, and in the opinion of more than 20 state attorney generals at this point, terminating AmeriCorps funding that has already been allocated through contract is illegal. The government has provided no reasonable justification for
Right. Eager, welcome. What is Doge again? Elon Musk's hostile takeover of the government. Like they're a unofficial pseudo government. They're an unofficial department, but not really, of the government. Not a fan of doing that. I like when things work. I actually had a busy day. Our software developers really effed up and I had to actually go boss mode for a bit. Not a fan of doing that. I like when things work.
Canceling these contracts past, quote, it has been determined that your award no longer effectuates agency priorities. Whatever the hell that means. It's also not just blue states that are suing. For example, Alabama.
Yeah, also, like, this funding was already allocated. The funding was already allocated. Like, there's no, like, discussion here, right? Like, Congress made that decision. I would be happy that I'm in the UK, except we're kind of the USA's dog. You know they're serious because they named it after a meme. True. The UK has its own issues. It does. It does.
Alabama and Wyoming also had all of their AmeriCorps funding cut. But if it doesn't get reversed, then that's a huge influx of folks that have just entered the already soul-crushing job market on the brink of a recession. If you are one of these folks impacted, please share your story down in the comment section below if you feel comfortable. Know that I am here for you. You are not alone. We are all going to get through this. You're a rock star for even like wanting to be a part of something bigger than yourself. These are truly unprecedented times, but the more folks that lose their jobs due to Doge bullshit, the more people will get angry at this administration. Because it's not just us that are impacted. It's everybody around us who now have a personal connection to these actions.
Yeah, I mean, like, everyone, I'm sure that, like, a lot of people have a story. A lot of people have a story, whether it's someone they know or maybe directly have been impacted by this. Being Dutch isn't the best place to be in, I believe. No, I'd rather be Dutch.
Trump has the lowest approval rating in his first 100 days in office of any president in the last 80 years. And this is just one of a growing number of reasons as to why. So, as for me now, it feels like a weekend day, even though it is a Wednesday, which is weird, not going into work. But again, hopefully this unemployment stint for me won't be too long because the city I work for or used to work for is amazing. So I'll keep you posted on that. This got me back into making videos. Nothing pisses me off more than Doge and Elon Musk. So it's now time for a fun fact about Rue. About a month ago, I'd say, Rue decided it would be a great idea to climb a tree. We were out in the backyard. I was eating my breakfast out there watching him, and suddenly he was partway up the tree. He ended up getting about 35 feet up, And then he was enjoying himself until he realized that that liquid amber was straight up and down, and there was no way for him to get down. And then he started freaking out a little bit. And the whole time I'm just watching going, oh my God, there is nothing I can do. We don't have a ladder big enough. Like, I called 911 basically. I was like, hey, my cat is in a tree. Who should I contact? They're like, oh, okay, we'll patch you over to the fire chief or something like that. So I was getting patched over. I was just starting to explain what my situation was. And then Rue decided to just leave it to Jesus and just fell from the tree and landed on his feet. And I feel like after that point, I know cats land on their feet. I'm like, okay, he's fine. But he was limping a little bit, and he has broken his leg when he was like 1.5 years old. He tore ligaments in his back leg from cuddling.
Oh, poor thing. Right now, if conservatives want to hold any seats, we need to work together and get something done. I'm skeptical that this will happen.
In a bin and then falling with the bin down a story onto stairs. I swear, he's an expensive bush cat. But anyways, so he was limping a little bit, so I was nervous, so I ended up taking him into the emergency vet and paying $500 for an x-ray to determine that he was fine, and some pain medications. So he ended up being a little druggy cat for like 2 days. And that was a fun fact about Rue.
Jeez, man.
Until next time, remember to talk about the climate crisis every single day.
How did this switch to a cat all of a sudden? She does fun facts about her cat in the video.
To support your local news and environmental organizations. They really need your help right now. Thank you to the people on Patreon who help support me and my fur baby Rue. A special shout out to the climate confident and courageous David H., Paul B., Phil Plasma, Dan Morton, Specker, Bree C., Deanne, Kevin Morton, SKP Joe's Course Gold, and Gary Stark. I greatly appreciate your support.
Had my cat fixed yesterday. She's home and doing well. Nice. That's unfortunate. Hey, folks, go show some support, okay? Go show some support.
I don't know how much we've talked about Ed Martin. He is the acting U.S. Attorney General for D.C. There are U.S. attorneys who are part of the Department of Justice, and they are they're in every state in the country. New York has, I think, 4 different offices because of the size of the state: the Eastern District, the Western District, Northern and Southern District, Southern District of New York. Very famous for having a lot of independents and doing a lot of high-profile corruption cases and terrorism cases because it's downtown Manhattan. And obviously in D.C., there's a lot of high-profile cases. Martin has written some incredible letters, like abusing his office. He is now the acting U.S. attorney because he has to be confirmed by the Senate. And it turns out, and this is going to be...
Wow, we got Lucifer and Devil. Ha! It's cost prohibitive for sure, but we found a program that does it for cheap, $100. Nice, that's actually not bad. What time is it? Eastern time. I have to go to London next week. Oof.
Be shocking for people. He has a little Nazi affinity issue. that is dogging
no.
him. Yes, I know. This is very surprising.
This is
that anybody
very surprising.
from the Trump administration might have this problem.
Stephen Miller's Trump administration? Yeah, it's shocking.
He's the interim U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. He's also the nominee to serve there permanently. He has come out and said that he now regrets praising a Capitol rioter who is an alleged Nazi sympathizer, claiming he was unaware of the man's extremist views at the time. This is what he told The Forward, which is a Jewish publication. Last week, I denounced everything about what that guy said, everything about the way he talked, and all as I've now seen it. At the time, I didn't know, Martin said.
He didn't know.
He didn't know about this guy's alleged Nazi sympathies. And yeah, I know. Well, I think.
Let's be fair to him. Let's be fair. I mean,
do we have any reason to disbelieve this guy? I mean,
Did he have a Rumble show?
He did have a Rumble show. It was actually called the Pro America Report with Ed Martin. Now, I'm not saying he stole that name from us. I mean, the Pro America Report, the Majority Report, very eerily similar. But
Where'd you get that idea?
let's see what CNN has found. Kudos to them for having to watch that show.
Tonight, praising an alleged Nazi sympathizer, President Trump's nominee to be one of the nation's most powerful prosecutors, apologizing for doing just that as he faces a tough confirmation battle. Ed Martin is Trump's pick as U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., and he claims he doesn't know the man you see on your screen, whose name is...
Oh, wait.
For folks listening, there is a three different angles of a guy doing various sort of Nazi style salutes, hand on heart type of
Okay.
things.
Oh, but
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
also
Yeah.
got
What do you mean, a guy?
Yeah, heart going out to. Yeah. Yeah, guy's a looker. Yeah, look at that. He's not a Nazi. He's just autistic. My cat's name is Bubble. He has like a bubble-shaped thing on his ear. That's adorable.
He has a mustache that is extremely reminiscent of. I mean, this is like. Did anybody see that movie Boys from Brazil, where they took like DNA from Hitler and in basically did IVF, some form of it, with a bunch of like 50 people around the world. Some Nazi scientists did that, and they grew up to
1978
be.
looks good.
They grew up to be like they all grew up to be like little mini Hitlers,
Right.
And somebody was trying to go around. I mean, it's actually
So when Trump's talking about being the most pro-fertility president, that's what he's referring to?
I mean, this guy's really making an effort to evoke like Hitler.
Charlie Chaplin.
I mean, or Charlie.
Yeah. Charlie Chaplin. That's what it is. This dude is a legit effing beta. Look, you should see the next clip. There's no restraining a mustache like that. Looks like a piece of felt glued to the upper lip.
Chaplin.
Angry Charlie Chaplin.
Really angry Charlie Chaplin in black with his hand on his heart. His heart is about to go out to all of us.
For his,
Yeah, there you go.
looking like taking like dating profile selfies.
He claims that he did not know the man you see on your screen, whose name is Timothy Hale Cusinelli. He said he didn't know his history as a January 6th rioter or as perhaps you can tell from this, an alleged Nazi sympathizer. Now Martin says, quote,
Yeah, an alleged Nazi sympathizer. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I denounce everything about what that guy said, everything about what the way he talked, and all as I've now seen it. The K-File has uncovered all the audio that shows Martin should have known better, still calling him an amazing guy, quote unquote. And Andrew Kaczynski of K-File is here with me now. So, Andrew, this is Trump's pick to be U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. It's a really important job. Ed Martin distancing himself now from this alleged Nazi sympathizer who obviously sported that Hitler mustache there. But he had repeatedly...
Yeah, thin facial hair issue isn't the issue. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm not sorry for what I did. I'm sorry that I got caught. It's always that.
Praised
Yep.
this individual in the past. What did you find?
Yeah, he's
Yep.
apologizing now. He says he wasn't aware of the full extent of his comments, but the audio that we found really sort of directly or appears to directly undermine that, because we found on multiple podcast interviews they actually discussed this guy's alleged views. They even brought
Alleged view. I mean, like, I love, I love how they tiptoe around this, but like, it's on audio, man. It's on audio, dude. The guy's a Nazi, man. Okay? Like, CNN, whatever. But I can say it, okay? The guy's a Nazi, okay? This isn't like news. Right? Like, this isn't news, okay? That he is a Nazi. Trump is an actual madman.
up that
Alleged views. Oh, so due process matters only when you want it to. Yeah, no, due process is only something that like liberals do, I guess.
mustache that everybody just saw.
Fashion police.
And they discussed it. They really sort of almost dismissed it. Take a listen to them talking about it here.
And in your
And that's how he looks now.
case, they used your phone and took a photo and leaked a photo to say, look, these people, MAGA people, are anti-Semitic. And the photo was of you.
He was doing a see Kyle. Trying to look like Hitler. I mean, all the leeway in the world for a convicted criminal, but with people with the wrong color skin can get effed. Yep. I'll have to go. It was fun. Well, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
I've heard you say it before. You had like a mustache shaved in such a way that you looked vaguely like Hitler. And
Vaguely like Hitler. Vaguely. Rumble mic covers all I need to know that this person's genuinely uneducated or a propagandist. Or like they're really like a lot of these people, right? Like a lot of these people like know that they're BSing, okay? Rander's nose, he still can't grow it. Guy looks like he's going to court, his best suit on. Yeah, he is going to court. The court of public opinion, right? Like, look, I'm not a Nazi. Okay? I'm not a Nazi, even though like you just showed pictures of me like trying to do a Hitler impression. And of course there's audio of him, being Hitler, so in the court of Rumble will only accept you if you are a Nazi. Pretty much. Rumble is yeah.
Pause it for a second. I'm sorry. Vaguely like Hitler? Vaguely like Hitler? It's hard for me to imagine how you could look more like Hitler.
Also, he styled his hair like that too.
Oh, wait, vaguely like Hitler.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes is on there. Yeah, of course, because he can't go anywhere else. Imagine, ladies, this guy shows up to your blind date. What do you do? Jesus Christ.
Also, I gotta say, listen, you can't judge a book by its cover. But,
I can.
This guy.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's take a look at this again.
He kind of looks better as Hitler.
They've gone as far as to ask for politics before the first date. 100% like understandable, because like again, this is past like, oh, you're a Republican, oh, you're a like this is past that. We're talking about like morality and principles, right? Like if your partner is like a like MAGA kind of person, I don't want to be in a relationship with like a MAGA person because this is like about principles, right? Like if you can watch what is happening, if you can watch what is happening, what the Trump administration is doing, and being like, yeah, this is okay, then like I don't want to be with you, okay? As someone who's grown a full luscious beard, I can absolutely get to call this guy a loser. I'll be married 13 years next month. Glad to be out of it. Well, congratulations. Dan Anonymously, welcome.
You look better as Hitler?
Got Hitler vibes going on.
The only, I will say, to be fair, the only
Mouselander, welcome. I don't date fascists. Yep. Kirkenstein's Monsters, welcome. My social circle has a few single ladies in it, and they have said it's rough and have asked me if I know any single guys.
thing that looks like a Hitler in that is just that his mustache is a little bit thin right here.
A little patchy.
A little patchy.
Can't quite fill it out.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going.
Almost dismissed it. Take a listen to them talking about it here.
And in your case, they used your phone and took a photo and leaked a photo to say, look, these people, MAGA people, are anti-Semitic.
Loser.
And, the photo was of you. I've heard you say it before. You know, you had like a mustache shaped in such a way that you looked vaguely like Hitler, and making jokes about it. Again, not your best moment, but not illegal. Have you ever been to a Nazi rally?
What? No one's saying he did anything illegal except be at the January 6th insurrection, right? Like dressing up, like cosplaying Hitler is not technically illegal. That's not the issue here, man. The issue is the beliefs. The only part of me that is attracted to Nazis is Knuckles.
No, I
We didn't call it that, but yeah.
have not.
I
I
mean-
wouldn't know where to find one.
Pause it.
Oh, you wouldn't know where to find one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I find that very hard to believe. Turns out being at an insurrection was effing illegal.
It sounds like he looked.
Yeah.
It sounds like he really looked.
Check in the mirror.
Oh, and that's the criteria now. He's never been to a Nazi rally. And specifically,
He dressed up like Hitler.
how about Proud Boys? How about something else? I don't know. I mean, we
Why-
don't know if that's the case.
What's also fascinating to me is like it's not your best moment, but there's no like the guy could have said, "Well, I was goofing around," or was just I was going to one of those,
Yeah, but like, what could you possibly be goofing around with, right? What? Like, how would you even play that off? Like, yeah, I'm just goofing, I'm just goofing, just making myself look like Hitler. But I'm just goofing, just for the lols, the epic troll, the epic meme. Like, how do you, how do we play that one off? Bipedal meatbag, welcome. I'm pretty non-confrontational, but not a pacifist. Yeah, two different things. Yep. I feel that.
secret Nazi parties, and I thought that would be funny. Or
That's a problem. It's tough to think of a good explanation for those pictures.
I was just prepping a Halloween costume. Granted, it was in July, but
I mean, like, even then, like, what? Who is like, yeah, as Halloween, okay. I've got a few months to grow my costume. So for Halloween, I'm going to be Hitler. What are you, Cartman from South Park? He thinks blackface is a joke too. I wouldn't doubt it. Kralia, welcome. What a thing to come in on. Welcome, Globus. Welcome, welcome. It was going for Angry Charlie Chaplin. Yep.
Is there more? Is there more that they have?
Let's let me hear a little more. Yes, yeah.
Oh, we'll miss her, but she subbed out with a great friend of ours too, Tim Hale. The only
Great
thing you
friend of
did
ours.
that was really egregious to me was at one point on camera, you were sort of dancing in one of the areas as.
Ah, dancing, huh? Dancing. I still can't get over his patchy facial hair. I'm be honest, I'm not a fan of like facial hair too much. Like I'm not a fan of facial hair too much. I'm just lazy, okay? But like yeah. Is he dyeing his effing beard? That is gender affirming care. Ask him about it. No, it's the guy from Rumble. He's not gonna ask him about that. He supports gender affirming care.
Celebrating America. It wasn't your best dance moves. Our next guest is my friend Timothy.
Oh, dance moves. Dance
Hale.
moves,
He's an
huh?
amazing guy who has gotten through all that and has a great perspective. So welcome back, Tim.
Let me guess. His dance moves were goose stepping while Sieg Heiling, right?
You.
And look, Aaron, so the vote for Martin is coming up. He had to submit questions and answers to senators. Senators sent him a bunch of questions, and we just actually, my colleague Annie Grayer, got those answers tonight. And one of the answers that he said about Mr. Hale was, quote, and I'm just reading from what he said to senators, was, "I am not close with him, but we," in another clip that we found, said, quote, "Tim Hale is an extraordinary guy. I've gotten to know him really well. I'd say we're friends over the last few years. So now I'm not close with him, but before he said
Got to know him really well.
and extraordinary guy, yes.
Extraordinary guy. All right. He is also under scrutiny for failing to initially disclose about 200 media appearances. This we're talking Ed Martin, who's up for this important position.
Oof. Now, same. I just didn't feel like shaving, and now it's part of my image on Twitch. Yeah, but you have like a beard. You know what I mean? You have a beard, like a legit beard. I grow a beard because I can, it looks good, but mostly because I'm self-conscious about my weak chin. It's honestly pretty normal, but I'm jealous of glorious chins. I don't know. That's just the way I look. Caroline Levitt has clearly plastic surgery. Isn't that a type of gender affirming care if not for reconstructive reasons? Yep. Globus has that magnificent beard. Globus has a real beard, like a beard. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I've achieved enough I don't think I've leveled up enough to be able to do that.
Washington Post found more than 150 of those 200 that he failed to disclose were with Russian state media.
That's right, and we actually ourselves at CNN did a story where we found that he failed to disclose a lot of appearances on a host of shows, including some far-right shows. That
Oh, he was on a host of far-right shows? Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise. Grow hair like I can grow facial hair. Well, yeah, that's different. Like I have curls and stuff like that. I guess that's the trade-off, right? Eat more cheese. I'd really like some shoulder length blocks. That's kind of what I have going on. Like a Henry Cavill chin. Gotcha. Like a square jaw, right? Like a square chin. The Chad meme.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was on all of those.
I like how the guy Elon Musk doing the Sig Heil is not anti-Semitic, nor is the guy who dressed up and shaved his face to look like Hitler. But the kids on college campuses are the ones who are not only anti-Semitic, but such a threat to the national security of the United States that we've got to deport them and lock them up without due process.
Anyway, put that guy in charge of D.C.
I am sure that all of the U.S. senators who have...
My husband has that Chad chin, but not why we're married, though. Nice.
Pride the anti-Semitism.
Is Chuck Schumer on this?
Oh, I mean, Chuck Schumer's just making sure that there's no anti-Semitism on the left. He doesn't have to worry about the right. That's his job is to make sure that there's no anti-Semitism on the left. It's somebody else's job to make sure there's no anti-Semitism on the right.
Good thing there's a lot of cops on the beat in the Republican Party.
Yeah. I mean, Chuck Schumer will be expecting a strongly worded letter with strong questions. Okay, strong questions. That's what we can expect from Chuck Schumer. That's fair enough. We will win. We will win.
Exactly. We can rely on them.
We will win.
Oh, they're looking at the protesters too? Oh, interesting.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show.
Yeah, unless he's tired or hungry, distracted. Beards are awesome.
We do it every day at
aroused. Oh my god, I can't believe he actually said that, but I can believe it because he said it. A strongly written word will be written letter will be written. So lame. You know, I wish it was just like a meme, but like that's a thing that happened. I'm tired too. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss. I wrote it so strong the lead broke. Well, if the lead broke, how are you going to follow up with these strong questions, right? After the strongly written letter, you need the 8 strong questions included in that letter. That's how it works. How are we supposed to defeat fascism? Okay, if we can't complete it, we need the 8 strong questions. I say this every time I check in. Spare room and a plane. Oh, God. I wish. Oh, good. You're covering the shit. Well, I'm not kidding. Oh, no, literally. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, yeah. Trump shut down a program to end human waste backing into Alabama homes, calling it illegal DEI. Hey, real quick, how much did Trump win Alabama by? For the last 14 years, when it rains in Lowndes County, Alabama, contaminated standing water builds around Annie Burke's home. When the septic tank breaks down, raw sewage backs up into her toilet. Jesus. Although frustrated by unhealthy and inconvenient conditions, Burke says she doesn't let it get her down. She doesn't let it get her down. Human wastewater contaminating homes and yards. Yeah, that can't be good. It has become a way of life. The problem has existed so long and so pervasive. The 2017 study determined 1 in 3 adults in the county had intestinal parasite hookworm. Jesus. Yes, it's red. Wolfland, welcome. Okay, back in the 1970s, a strongly worded letter was a possible thing. Yeah, I mean, like, in the 1970s, like, certain, like, institutions still worked. Yeah, like, 100%. 100%, Wolfglen. 100%. My director says hello. Howdy! We are now drinking whiskey and watching. Sheesh, pour one out for me. Red Rocket. It's funny because, like, my Fallout brain... Okay, when I see Red Rocket, I think the Red Rocket gas station. Okay? I'm so Fallout brained that, like, the first thing I think of is the Red Rocket gas station. Fallout is nasty. I don't know if they, like, intentionally did that. Like, if that was, like, an innuendo. Or if, like, they just decided to... Because it's literally, like... It's literally like a rocket, right? Like, it's literally a rocket ship on top of the gas station. My director and I get along super well because we have to. He's my boss. And I run our team, so he doesn't have to. There you go. That's exactly what pops into my mind, and our favorite companion, dog meat. I love dog meat. Dog meat still hangs out. When I don't take dog meat with me, he still hangs out at the Red Rocket station because that's how I remember where he is. Red Rocket Blast Off ruined us. There's a gas station called Come and Go Innocent. Yeah, I don't know, like, who in, like, the planning phases of that were like, yep, that's what we're gonna call it, and, like, corporate was like, yep, that's what we're gonna call it. That's fine. What? They sell t-shirts and everything. I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I'm pretty sure I've seen a gas station that's like that. Come and Go. It's a chain. I don't know, like, where I've seen it, but I've seen it. They're all over the place too. I think I've seen it like really south. When I went out of state last year, I got my girlfriend a Come and Go jug. I went to Buc-ee's. Never been to a Buc-ee's. Like one of those little pop things. Yep. Seen them in Iowa and Illinois. She's a Diet Coke addict. I'm a Coke Zero person, okay? I'm a Coke Zero person. And yes, there is a difference. The Come and Go franchise is being phased out, sadly. They were bought out. Gotcha. What gives you cancer slower? I don't know. I drink Diet Dr. Peace on no judgment. Me too. Diet Coke is awful. I drink plain fizzy water. My Polar is my current favorite.
It's okay. No need to apologize. I know when I will see each other again. They always go.
Jacob Crook on the track.
Don't even worry. No one has ever cared about me my whole entire life.
It's a mystery. It was me and you. You was cruising down the highway when I saw you. Tell me your name, even though I forget it like the rest. Is it Jimmy, or Jim Bob from the West? Come and go, just come and go. That's how it goes. They always come and go. Come and go, you're just here for the show. They'll always go after they come and go. Come and go, just come and go. That's how it goes. They always come and go. Come and go, you're just here for the show. They just come and go.
Thank you for the follow. One of our developers screwed up bad, and now we both have to be here until 6 p.m. 2.5 hours more. Yikes. I can't even went. So I save all my sugar intake for baked goods and chocolate.
You say you love me, baby, no better than that. Told me to save your number, sweetheart. You crushed my heart like Sprite, even though you said my ass was fine. Go back to your wife named Pot, and you're still kid, you little rat. Don't worry about me, I'm just the pit stop rag. Just your little snack to smack and gag.
Please stop calling. I know you won't leave your cute little wife, Pat.
Honey.
Come and go, just come and go. That's how it goes. They always come and go. Come and go, you're just here for the show. They'll always go after they come and go. Come and go.
I think I've cringed into the next dimension. My crispy treats today with old cereal and marshmallows, it was good. Nice.
Just come and go. That's how it goes. They always come and go. Come and go. You're just here for the show.
I want those gas prices back. Seriously.
Just come and go. Tell me what's real. Tell me what's fake. Put me inside a vacation, verbally abuse me. Tell me what's real. Tell me what's fake. Put me inside a vacation, verbally abuse me. Come and go, just come and go. That's how it goes. They always come and go. Come and go, you're just here for the show. They'll always go after they come and
You
go.
actually left your wife named Pat? I can't talk about this right now. I gotta go.
Alright, I've cringed into the next dimension. Cool and go. One of these days I'll show you guys my song. I left your wife named Pat. Back when I was a stupid idiot. I do need to record music. I'm very lost and that's okay. Yeah, we just cringed into the next dimension and we're returning back, okay? We're returning back. I made this talk about Tent City in my city after I got beat up trying to ask someone to leave the computer store I worked at. That was over a decade ago. One of these days I'll find the inspiration to actually record. It's nice to just chill sometimes. News has been so negative lately. Yep. Re-uploaded 6 years ago. There is one positive story, okay? There is going to be one positive story today, okay? There's going to be one positive story. The Biden administration investigated and allocated nearly $26 million to rebuild Lowndes County's water infrastructure, with the Department of Justice declaring the majority black area was suffering from environmental racism. Because, yeah. Some of my band's old stuff is on YouTube. I don't pay attention to that stuff. There's old recordings. There's old recordings of A Difficult Truth, the band, somewhere. Well, I appreciate that, Eager. Good for Gabby, welcome. But earlier this month, President Trump issued an executive order to kill the deal, calling it illegal DEI. That's right. When you try to fix your town's infrastructure, that is DEI. DOJ's Harmeet Dillon, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights under Trump, said the agency will no longer push environmental justice as viewed through a distorted DEI lens, referring to diversity, equity, and inclusion. I mean, like, yeah, if the overwhelming majority of, like, of this affects a certain group of people, then like that's kind of like what we're getting at, right? Like if this is disproportionately affecting like poor black people, poor people of color, that's kind of what we mean, right? That's just the truth. And the fact that like they're pulling the plug on this for $26 million, which is a literal like drop in the bucket. Okay, I mean we're talking about like a grain of sand on the beach. Okay, $26 million for the government is like a grain of sand in the beach. Welcome, good for Gabby. They're not fans of diversity, equity, or inclusion. Yep. The DOJ's, the 2023 investigation sparked by environmental activist Catherine Coleman Flowers and conducted by the DOJ found that the low-income residents of the county, most of whom are black, have lacked basic sanitation services for generations. Given the area's especially hard impermeable soil and high cost of installing private wastewater system, many residents have resorted to straight piping to deal with human wastewater. This method involves guiding human wastewater away from the home into a series of ditches and crude piping systems, according to the DOJ report. That water collects in nearby yards, open areas, and woods. In recent years, heavier rainfall related to climate change, which again, like, this is all tied together. Like, this is not some, like, wacky lefty conspiracy theory, okay? I thought climate change was DEI. It's a hoax. But if it's not a hoax, then it's like DEI or whatever. It's everything. No problem, good for Gabby. Most of the old stuff I sing and play keys on random instruments. Now I mostly play guitar and sing. Nice. Yeah, it's a hoax. It's a hoax made up by liberal, leftist, socialists, communists, Democrats. Any other buzzwords? Yeah, it's a scam from Big Weather to sell more umbrellas. Yeah. I invented climate change. Sorry, everyone. Yep. In more recent years, heavier rainfall related to climate change has meant that contaminated water floods into homes, spill across open areas, and contaminate local vegetation, water exposing residents to illness. And so, Burke and more than 300 other families in Lowndes County, located about 40 miles southwest of Montgomery, are forced to live with a failing water infrastructure that has led to serious health concerns, including hookworm, which at one point had been thought to be eradicated from the United States, according to a 2021 study by the Baylor College of Medicine and the Alabama Center for Rural Enterprise. But hookworms are mainly contracted by walking barefoot on soil contaminated with infected feces. It can cause abdominal pain, skin rashes, diarrhea, fever, and other ailments. So that's cool. Thanks, Al Gore. Stuff like this is murder for crops, by the way. American-grown crops. Yep. I mean, the ground won't absorb any more water here in North Dakota. Oh, it is gross. Yep. We have to be extra sanitary because people getting sick can be a problem. The health concerns are real. In 2025, we shouldn't have to deal with it, but it is what it is. She said, uses various disinfectants multiple times a day to clean your home and protect your family, which includes children, grandchildren who come to visit. The environmental quagmire has persisted for more than 20 years in this rural part of the state, where 72.4% of the population is black, and the median household income is $35,160. There it is. Yep, exactly. This is exactly why they haven't fixed it yet. And like when Biden like actually decided to do something about it, they're like, nope, DEI stuff. According to the latest census, 1/3 of the residents live below the poverty line. Flowers said that much of the problem started back in 1866 with the passage of the Southern Homestead Act, when black people were first allowed to purchase land there and were offered mostly places that were environmentally unsafe. So, like, when we talk about, like, environmental racism, right? Like, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. When we're talking about systemic racism, a system that produces these outcomes for a minority group of people, like in this case, black people, because of the institutions of slavery that led, all throughout trickle effects, right? Ripple effects is what I meant to say. That's what we're talking about. This is exactly a perfect illustration. If anyone is still confused about what systemic racism looks like, about what environmental racism looks like, it looks like this, okay? That sounds about right. In recent decades, it's not uncommon for untreated sewage to flow from some residents' toilets into their yards or back up into their homes through sinks or bathtubs. Drinking water from the tap is out of the question. Some residents have dug ditches in an attempt to drain water away from their homes. Flowers, who grew up in Lowndes, has been fighting 23 years to fix the water infrastructure in the county. Her efforts led the Biden administration's $26 million commitment. She said Trump's cancellation of the agreement did not surprise her. Democrats aren't entirely innocent of this either, but they at least were trying to fix it. Well, I mean, in this case, yeah, they were trying to fix it after generations. Yeah, like they finally were like, here's $26 million, and then like the Republican president comes in and it's like, nah, bro, $26 million, nah. The Democrats were the conservative party before the Southern strategy, the Dixiecrats. Yes, yes. There are people who are not going to make it a priority to get this work done, and that's the way it's always been. Alabama Representative Terry Sewell, a Democrat who represents the area, said in a statement that the DOJ's reason for abandoning the deal was weak. This agreement has nothing to do with DEI. It was about addressing a public health crisis that has forced generations of children and families to endure the health hazards of living in proximity to raw sewage, as the DOJ itself documented. Yeah, but like it is, right? Like this does have to do with like racism, right? Like, I'm sorry. It's just like, it's just the way it is. I do a great Trump and RFK impression. I should stream it at some point and do it. I do terrible impressions, but you know. Compare it with some AI. That's conservative, twofold, denying race and climate. Yeah, I mean, like it can't be anything else, right? Like how more clear cut can it be than this, right? Like when you say like, what is systemic racism and like, what does that look like? It looks like this, okay? By terminating it, the Trump administration has put blatant disregard for the health of my constituents on full display, which happened to be a majority black constituency. When announcing the results of the 2023 investigation, former Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark of the Justice Department found evidence that suggested Alabama's Department of Public Health showed a consistent pattern of inaction or neglect concerning the health risks associated with exposure to raw sewage. And like when you're consistently ignoring the very real health risks associated with this, and that population is majority black, then like that's systemic racism, dude. It's all we have to entertain ourselves, because we sure as hell ain't getting the new Switches or Xboxes. If it was their kids, it would be different. Yep. And I wonder why the Alabama government didn't care about this. Makes a fellow wonder, huh? So why the F do they keep voting red? You know, that's a fantastic question. As long as you know, those minorities are worse off than we are, you know, hey, look, as long as they're living in raw sewage or whatever, then like I guess that's okay for me. Right? Tradition, same reason they defunded the Department of Education. Religion, yep. Lack of education, yep. Peer pressure. The lack of rational self-interest, right? Because of propaganda, right? And peer pressure from indoctrination of the conservative ideology. Poverty does a lot to you as well. That's also true. Remember that a majority of Americans haven't even left their state, let alone see how the other world lives. Yep. President Lyndon B. Johnson once said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, right? I think that's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah. He really does have hundreds of signs, though. Now, the shining beacon, Johnson. The second statement from the ADH said the department has received $1.5 million from the funds of the Biden agreement and used it in part to pay for 3 septic tank installations. With the remainder of that money, ADH will pay a contractor to complete more work by May of 2026. According to the statement, Trump killed the agreement before any additional funds could be distributed towards fixing the water infrastructure. Annie Burke said that her daughter, who lives next door, is in a dilemma because she was hoping to receive a new septic tank when hers recently collapsed. She's lived the last 4 years with water issues. Being raised in the country and at one point having to use outside facilities, I know how to make do. I just take one day at a time and pray about it and keep moving on. I don't let it get me down, but my daughter grew up differently, so I worry about how she deals with this stuff. Flowers, the activist, said that she hopes the agreement will be reinstituted. She says she has seen communities come together to make change. Last week, she pointed out that she was in Mount Vernon, New York, where sewage issues were resolved with a combined work of the city, county, and state government. They fixed it because they should have. The problem was discovered in 2021, and it's fixed 5 years later. I've been working on this Lowndes County since 2002. Watch dude pull them all out so he can mow and put them back. Some families have been able to afford to move away, but many cannot. As it turns out, it costs money to move. I know, it's wild. Then the connection to the land is also a factor, said Flowers, who spent her childhood there and whose father was raised in Lowndes County. My family has been in Lowndes County since slavery. It's home for people. Why would we want to move? That's where our people are buried. Changing home is not just about occupying another house. We're talking about giving up a culture, so we will continue this fight. There's obviously a reason why this hasn't been resolved, and I could tell you why on a paint sample. Yeah, it's like the Peter Griffin meme. Oh, black community? Nah. Oh, hello, cat. A cat has decided to visit us. Good cat. Your cat has a stronger mustache than the beta male we watched earlier. Ground level news, welcome. Like she's looking at herself. She's looking at herself on screen. Did she just wake up? Nope, she's just... Well, maybe because she was sleeping in her little beanbag chair. She just came over right now. My Toby would be yelling at me. Yeah, Buddy is a yeller. Will he ever be on camera, do you think? Buddy? Or maybe the other one? Yeah, I mean... It's mostly Bakita that hangs out with me. If I have the boys downstairs with me, then they'll be on stream. Alvin's the other one, yes. If I don't legit dose myself with high-end antihistamines for my girlfriend's work, I cannot cat. Oof. Also why I left the left. No real help to be found there. I'm mostly here for the chit-chat. Well, incidentally, you know. The left. Mike Waltz is out. But he's going to be the ambassador to the UN. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz is leaving the White House post, although soon after reports about his departure were published, President Trump announced that he plans to nominate him to be the ambassador of the UN. It was not clear why it's not clear whether Alex Wong, Waltz's deputy, would remain as the National Security Council as of Thursday afternoon. The president also said in social media posts, because that's how we do things now, that in the interim, Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as National Security Advisor. Waltz will need to be confirmed by the Senate for the ambassador role. That at age 32, I might be aging out of my allergy. Yeah, I noticed that. As I got older, some of the allergies that used to really mess with me just don't. Like, I actually used to get really messed up with, like, grass. Like, fresh cut grass. Ooh, that would mess me up. Not a thing anymore. Faux Machina, welcome. Why not make him the vice president? I mean, does it actually matter? Who knows at this point? Age out of grass, pollen, trees, anything green. Our cats are starting to affect me less. That's good. I am pleased to announce that I will be nominating Mike Waltz to be the next United States ambassador to the UN, said Mr. Trump. From his time in uniform in the battlefield in Congress and as my national security advisor, Mike Waltz has worked hard to put our nation's interest first. I know he will do the same in his new role. In the interim, Secretary of State Little Marco will be serving as National Security Advisor while continuing his strong leadership at the State Department. Waltz on Twitter said, I'm deeply honored to continue my service to President Trump. Oh yeah, and the nation. Yeah. Jet, welcome. I had to get a hypoallergenic cat. Wait, what? That's a thing? I didn't know that. Bengal cats are hypoallergenic? The news to me. As an actual veteran, the shit is effing, this thing's so bad. I had security clearance. Yeah, but like, you know. Normality, rules, all of that has left the chat. It was a last-minute decision to nominate Waltz to be the UN ambassador. Sources told CBS News Mr. Trump decided on Thursday morning. The sources said, but there have been previous discussions about moving Waltz out of the National Security Council. A number of factors led to that change. It was perceived at the White House. That Waltz didn't adequately vet national security staff. National Security Council staff, sources said, in addition to Signalgate and the lack of good fit between Waltz and the senior team. There are a few breeds that are hypoallergenic. Dog breeds too. Yeah, that's true. I should have thought about that. Of course, if there's hypoallergenic puppers, then there's hypoallergenic kitties. Cats that have hair instead of fur, I'm totally fine with. I'm POV 80 about to buy a bundle of kitties. I've got my bundle of kitties. My mom has a couple of those little shit rats, and I'm just fine around them. What gets you is the dander, right? Is that it? But Mr. Trump respects Waltz, sources said, and unlike some figures in Trump's first term, Waltz wasn't ousted unceremoniously. He was instead given a high-profile new post. Journalist Mark Halperin first reported on the departures. As with many developments in Mr. Trump's White House, nothing is final until he announces it. State Department spokesperson, because that's cool, you know. Stuff just happens from one day to another. Tammy Bruce learned of the president's decision to appoint Rubio interim national security advisor during a briefing she was given Thursday. Asked by a reporter how long he might serve in the position, Bruce responded, "It's clear that I just heard this from you." What? I think 3 is a number of good cats. Source, I have 3 cats. You could be allergic to the dander or the spit. I'm allergic to the spit. I still kiss every cat. Huh. I did not know that. Well, I guess technically you could be like allergic to anything, right? That would make sense. This is Trump's playbook for his term. Fill it full of fascist loyalists. True. The president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, is having conversations with some of the National Security Council staff today. In March, Waltz came under scrutiny after he put together the, signal chat, the signal gate, yada, yada, yada. After Waltz admitted behind closed doors the authenticity of the reporting, White House officials debated whether he should resign, but Waltz never made the offer, and Mr. Trump did not ask him to step down at the time. Publicly, President Trump signaled that he was a good man and who learned a lesson, What? That's cool. As Trump's picked ambassador of the UN, Waltz will face Senate confirmation. Democratic Senator Mark Warner of Virginia said of Waltz and the signal incident that gave him credit for acknowledging the huge mistake with every sensitive information. If that ever gotten out, we could have lost pilots. Nonetheless, when asked by a reporter about the Senate confirmation hearing, Waltz would face as a nominee. Warner replied, "I think it would be pretty brutal. Let's see what happens." I mean, like the only response is like, no, we're not doing this. Okay, we're not confirming like Trump's like picks anymore. Like, we're not doing this. Okay, that should be the immediate response. Like, not let's see what happens. Like, maybe he has something good to offer. No, man. I'm allergic to fascism. Me too. I feel like appointing Waltz is just getting him out of the way. Yep. As a dander for me, at one point my allergist thought I might be allergic to my own beard. A thing that's possible. Remember when Jared Kushner couldn't get a security clearance back in the first term? Yep, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Insecure little Twimpy can't handle a big man like Waltz taking the spotlight off him. GOP Senator Cornyn of Texas expressed confidence Thursday that Waltz would become confirmed and told reporters, "I'm glad he's still going to be part of the administration." So yeah, I mean, like, just further demonstration of the chaos that's happening here. Okay, good news. Before we get out of here, a Trump-appointed federal judge rejected the use of the Alien Enemies Act in the Venezuelan deportations. That's right, a Trump-appointed judge. A federal judge appointed by President Trump on Thursday rejected the Trump administration's invocation of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport Venezuelans it alleges are members of the criminal organization Tren de Aragua, which, of course, most of these people aren't, because there's like this is just like a numbers game, okay? Like, this is just a numbers game. There's like not that many Tren de Aragua members in the country as it is. So yeah, damn radical leftist Trump judges, woke judges, woke right-wing judges. Clearly didn't glaze Trump enough. Yeah, that's why he lost. U.S. District Judge Fernando Rodriguez of the Southern District of Texas wrote in an opinion that he does not question the executive branch's authority to direct the detention or removal of aliens who engage in criminal activity, and he noted the administration can continue to rely on Immigration and Nationality Act for those proceedings. But Rodriguez, who was nominated by Trump in his first term, wrote that the question at the center of the lawsuit was whether Trump could use the Alien Enemies Act to detain and remove Venezuelans who were members of Tren And he argued that the historical record renders clear that the president's invocation of Alien Enemies Act through the proclamation exceeds the scope of the statute and is contrary to the plain ordinary meaning of the statute's term. Right. I mean, like, literally, like, you don't even need a law degree to, like, understand, like, what the Alien Enemies Act is really about, and how, number one, how outdated it is, but whatever. But number two, how it just simply doesn't apply here, right? Like, it just doesn't. And Pierre doesn't need to worry about that security clearance now anyways. Even Trudeau took his seat home. I mean, like, honestly, Poilievre losing his seat was probably the best news out of that election. And that, I don't follow Canadian politics too much, but yeah. The Supreme Court had put a pause on deportations under the Alien Enemies Act at a time when buses with Venezuelans were heading to the airport from a detention center in North District of Texas. Some of those on the bus said they were told that they were destined for a prison in El Salvador, while others were told they were headed to Venezuela, according to the wife of one of the detainees and two lawyers representing other detainees in the facility. Like, this is just wild. Wild. Oh, you mean like literally the literal seat. Oh, okay. Do Canadian leopards crave faces the same way as American leopards? Mono, welcome. Alien Enemies Act, UFO 50 Acts, Evil Alien Gralien Act. Until Trump invoked it this year, the Alien Enemies Act was only invoked during the War of... Hey, come back. War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. Trump, in a proclamation on March 15, declared that Tren de Aragua was a designated terrorist organization that was perpetuating, attempting, and threatening an invasion or predatory incursion against the territory of the United States. Rodriguez wrote in his 36-page opinion that the Trump administration's use of the invasion does not match the historical use of the term, which has typically been used in connection with military endeavors or warfare. The court found that invasion or predatory incursion must be an organized armed force entering the United States to engage in conduct destructive of property and human life in a specific geographical area, like a war. But that not need to be a precursor to actual war. Rodriguez also granted a petition for a class status, writing that the special circumstances of this case allowed for that remedy to be remedied because the suit involved common questions of law that may prove dispositive as to all Venezuelan aliens in the Southern District of Texas. In a final judgment and permanent injunction, Rodriguez wrote that the administration was permanently enjoined from using the Alien Enemies Act to deport, transfer, remove plaintiffs and other members of class, but wrote that they were not prohibited from proceeding with removal or proceeding otherwise acting based on the Immigration and Nationality Act. The ACLU's Lee Gallant, the lead lawyer representing the plaintiffs, noted that this was the first time a federal judge has issued a summary judgment and weighed in on the merits of whether the Trump administration could use the Alien Enemies Act during peacetime at all. That is actually a good precedent. That is a good precedent, because that means that, like, this could be used in other cases as well, going forward, right? Like, the reason why they were able to whisk away those folks to the concentration camp in El Salvador is because they did it before the courts could act. In this case, they were able to stop the buses from getting to said airplanes. And thank goodness that this precedent is set. Well, it's not a time of peace because he declared war on everyone. I'm actually just a light level of kind. I'm famous for my measured nature. My question is, where's the Senate in all this? They're Republicans. They're just Republicans. Like anyone at this point who is not actively trying to stop this is just complicit, either directly by directly supporting it, or just simply like complicit by like not doing anything about it. War is peace. I don't think Trump has the mental capacity to understand what he's doing. His lackeys are piloting him. I mean, I don't doubt that. That's quite possibly what's happening. This is straight up Menicius Moldberg, Curtis Yarvin shit at this point. Yep. Apathy is death. That is a quote from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. The court correctly held that the president lacks authority to simply declare there's been an invasion of the United States and then invoke an 18th century wartime authority during peacetime. Congress never meant for this law to be used in this manner. Yup. Very demure. Enchilada time. TLDR got a 210ish. Anything over 65 is a relatively clear indicator of autism. I think what Trump should do, if I was given him one piece of advice: fire every single mid-level bureaucrat, every civil servant in the administrative state, and replace him with our people. And when the court stop you, stand before the court and say, the Chief Justice made his ruling and now let him enforce it. JD Vance loves this dude. Yeah. Yep. Wasn't this like a dude also, wasn't this like also a person involved in Project 2025? I'm like 90% sure. Never heard of it. Yeah, pals with Theo. Musk likes him. Trust the plan. Patriots are in control. Okay. Yep. We're cooked. Alright, it's pub time. Yeah, it's food time. Definitely. It's food time. Thanks for the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. On that note, yes, it is time for me to get going. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support. You guys are what makes this channel go. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. If you guys want to continue supporting the channel, keep doing what you're doing, folks. Keep liking the stream. We're just shy under 360. 360 YouTube subs. So keep doing what you're doing. Spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday around 5 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, join the YouTubes. Moanep, thank you. Thanks, Mono. If you want to support the channel directly, check out the merch store. Hit the exclamation mark tip. Subscribe to the Substack. And join the Discord, folks. Later. Thank you so much for hanging out, Kirkenstein's Monsters. I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you, Heat, for modding the chat. I appreciate it. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Viana, I hope to see you guys in the next one Monday about 5 p.m. Eastern time. See ya. Leftist Mafia tonight. Yes, about an hour and something. Movie night on Saturday. Yep. Appreciate that. Hang tight, folks. Looney Tunes. All right, folks, hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2,